Good morning. It's a beautiful sunny Sunday. There's crisp sun outside, and for the first time in my going live, the series of the sessions that I've been having, I'm here with you all in the morning. It's a very different feeling. And I hope and I pray that this feeling gets us to explore in unknown depths. So today I thought if I could spend a little time sharing my understanding of this theme which has possessed me, has taken charge of me, has become my life's journey. Good morning, Punky. Hello to you. Anuradha, thanks for coming. Stay with me till the end. It's a beautiful Sunday. I'm sure it's so sunny and a crispy Sunday in Ranchi also, Punky. Yeah, so I thought I'll spend some time trying to share my understanding of human transformation. Of late, many people have been asking me, what do you mean when you say human transformation? Hey Teja, good luck to you too. Take care, take good care. Somebody gave me an analogy of a zebra turning into a tiger. Is that transformation? No, that is not transformation. I think before we get into what is transformation, it is important to understand why transformation. We are all coming from nature, natural beings, living like any other natural being, where nature made us and expected us to live by its laws. It's a different thing that we have flouted many of the laws of nature. But I suppose all of us do agree that we belong to nature, we come from nature, we go back to nature. So that's the first stage of us being who we are, being natural. However, if you look at a tree, for example, it cannot move, it stays where it is planted. If you look at any other animal, it cannot go to a mall and pick and choose items that it can buy for itself. All things in nature. Good morning, Rudresh. Thank you, God bless you. All things in nature are governed by nature and also controlled by nature. They don't have a will of their own. It is believed that consciousness is sleeping in nature and stirring up to be awakened in man. A small child who still is not in touch with his ability, his gift of being able to make choices, is still being governed and controlled by nature. However, the destiny for man is very different. As I said, we belong to nature, but we are gifted with consciousness, gifted with the ability to know, gifted with the ability to make choices. So the first step of transformation is from being a natural being to being a conscious being. From moving from Pashavik Vritti to Manav Vritti. Sounds simple, but if you look around, when you go out, go to work, go to the marketplace, drive down the streets of Bangalore or any other metro city, I often feel, and I'm sure you also feel, that you're staying in a jungle. Jungle full of beings who are still behaving the way their ancestors behaved, who are still not even acknowledging that they are meant to be conscious. So, from being a natural being to be a conscious being, the final stage is from Manav Vritti to Daivik Vritti. When the drop becomes the ocean, you manifest in you the God within. Aham Brahmasmi. That is the transformational journey which man is supposed to undertake. Is supposed to undertake, which means he or she may or may not. I am told that in some cave in China, seeds have been found which are 1,000,000-year-old unsprouted seed. Similarly, on this planet Earth, out of the 7 billion, maybe very few will undertake this transformation journey, and most importantly, arrive to fulfill the destiny. However, it is not important whether we arrive or not. What is more important is undertaking this journey. To me, it is very important. It may not be to you. Why is it important to me? Because this is the only way I can live by the laws which created me, by the laws by which I am meant to live. This is the only way by which I can live in harmony. So that, to me, my friends, is human transformation, very similar to how a caterpillar becomes a cocoon. From that cocoon emerges a butterfly. very similar to the journey of a seed growing into a plant, blossoming and then bearing fruits. And the question is, as I said, not all of us would transform. However, it is important for us to undertake this journey. It is important to us to make a beginning. How do we go about? What are the essentials? What is required of me to undertake this journey and to stay on this journey? Again, if I look at my own transformational life, my own transformational journey, and if I look at journeys of those who I have lived with, observed, and sometimes walked along very closely, I find that there is a framework. There is a simple model that we can all follow. So today let me share this model and demystify this thing called human transformation, because somewhere in my mind I'm believing that many of you, because you find it very mystical, because you find it not meant for you, most concernedly many of you dismiss it as a spiritual theme not meant for the material world. No, it is not that. It's a very, very strongly material, human and essential element of us living on this planet. So coming to the framework, it's called a 3E and 3L framework. The 3E stands for environment, engagement, and enablement. Environment to live, engagement to love, and enablement to learn. Let me spend a little time with each of these three so that it becomes simple for you to apply in your life. However, before I go to the 3 E's, let me talk of one capital C, consciousness. I just talked about the fact that the difference between us as we are wired in any natural being is that we have the capacity, the gift to be conscious. Yes, this capital C is consciousness. This entire transformational journey cannot happen unconsciously. This journey is all about knowing every step of my existence. This journey is all about my presence, my being available, consciously available to my own self. So my friends, if you believe that you follow the 3 E's and you will transform, no. That's the key difference between this framework and any other technical framework where doing is good enough. In transformation, you know what you do and do what you know. So remember, being conscious all through the 3 E's gives you an opportunity to live consciously, to love consciously, and to learn consciously. So let's start with the first E, environment. Environment to live consciously. The seeds in the cave in China did not sprout because they did not get a conducive environment. They were in the midst of stones. It needs soil. It needs water. And above all, it needs sunlight. What does it mean in the human sense? The environment that you choose for yourself to live, and I again say you choose for yourself to live, is very, very key to making your transformational journey happen. An environment of compassion, care, and concern. An environment which gives you enough space. If you plant seeds too close to each other, they will feel cramped. They will not sprout. Similarly, the environment that you choose must allow you enough space to breathe. The other thing about the environment is what we call as sattvikta. Rudrish, it is environment to live consciously. Being conscientious is a part of being conscious. Your conscience is a part of your consciousness. Yeah, I was talking about Sattvic Bhav. Well, I have a different view to Sattvic Bhav. Sattvic Bhav is not vegetarianism. Sattvic Bhav is not abstinence. The word Sattvic comes from the word Satya, truth. And what is truth? Do you know what is truth? Can somebody tell you what is truth? Is there a book on truth which you can read and know? No. Truth is that which you perceive when you are conscious. Let me share a story with you. There was this thief. He used to earn his livelihood through theft. One day something dawned upon him and he said to himself, I don't think this is the right profession to be in. There's so much of digitalization happening. Maybe I'll get a good job somewhere. Maybe I can learn some skills and find a more honorable job for myself. I must quit thieving. Now he has been thieving through generations, and he knew it will not be difficult, not be easy for him. So he went to a wise man and asked him, "Wise man, tell me, how can I quit thieving?" So the wise man asked him, why do you want to quit thieving? It is your ancestral profession. He said, no, it is not a very honorable profession. People look down upon me. Villagers don't talk to me. I'm a social outcast. So I think I would like to have a more honorable profession, and I am told that people over there are paid pretty well. They can also drive a BMW, so maybe I will also be able to do that. I think this label of being a thief, I need to get out of it. So the wise man thought for a while and he said, okay, I am giving you an exercise. You go back and continue thieving. Don't quit right now. But when you commit theft, do it with a difference. This time, when you are committing theft, when you are breaking open a house, when you are breaking open a locker, watch yourself doing that. And then come back and tell me what has been your experience. So he went away, and it didn't take 1 week. He was back with the wise man in 3 days' time. Very, very perturbed, very disturbed. Oh wise man, what have you done to me? Wise man said, what? I didn't do anything. I didn't ask you to quit thieving. Did you quit thieving? No, I have not done that. And yet, in the last 3 days, I have not been able to commit a single theft. Wise man says, why? I never asked you to stop. Yeah, but it is so difficult when you're watching yourself to commit theft. Yes, I did open the door. I approached the locker. I also broke it open. All through I was watching myself. And I was feeling a certain sense of unwillingness to do all this. But when it came to picking up the treasures, the jewelry, the cash, suddenly something happened and it felt so meaningless. The gold looked like stone. The cash looked like pieces of paper. I closed the locker and I came out. This is the first time I was trying to thieve while watching myself thieving. I thought maybe I was not well, something was wrong in my mind, so let me try it the second time. The second night when I went and tried to do this, I remembered you said, watch yourself committing theft. And again the same thing happened. The third night I thought, this time I will be my good old competent self. But again the same thing happened. So Master, tell me, what is happening? I don't know. What do you think was happening? When you watch yourself no matter what you are doing, no matter where you are, no matter what your bhava or sentiments are, you will always be in company of truth. When you watch yourself doing anything, you are in a sattvic space. Watchfulness is the key for sattvikta. It's not that you adopt vegetarianism and you're not even aware of the food that you're eating. No, that is not sattvic. You quit alcohol, you quit smoking, and yet you are addicted to other things and you're not even aware. That's not sattvikta. So my friends, being watchful is being sattvic. And that is one key element of the right kind of inner environment that you require for human transformation to happen. And one simple technique, let me share with you, which I have been following God knows for how many years, and I help most of my proteges to follow, is watch your breath. That's it. You can do it now as you are sitting, as you're listening to me. While you breathe naturally, just watch your breath going in and coming out. Even if you forget, that's okay. You can get back to remembering and watching your breath. You will, for yourself, surprise to see the quality of existence, the quality of presence that you will have by this simple exercise of watching your breath. So, having the right kind of environment for conscious living, which means having the light of awareness, having a soil full of nutrients, of compassion, care and concern, having enough rainfall of grace and benediction in your space, will create the right kind of environment for you to live consciously and be prepared for conscious transformation. Talking about benediction and grace, you may be asking, I may not be so fortunate to be the chosen one to receive grace. Do you think it's a personal thing to be graced, to be blessed, to receive benediction? Do you think your neighbor receives it more than you? Do you think your colleague, just because he lives in a villa which is sprawling, just because he drives a swanky car, he's more blessed than you? No, it's not that. Key thing about the environment is also being like a vessel which is open. The lid is open and it is facing upwards. Mind you, there are two prerequisites. One is to be open, the other is to be receptive. To be open would mean allowing life to flow through you. and to face upwards would mean having the faith that it is there, that it will come to me, that it is raining. It is raining all over, and I shall receive my share of rain too. Yes, my friends, faith is another very important aspect of having the right kind of environment. For if there is no faith, there is fear. Fear is the absence of faith. You cannot do anything with fear because it is absence of something. But if you bring in faith, fear dissolves. So the more the fear, the larger is the quantum of faith that you are required to bring in. And again, like so many other things, fortunately, you don't need to acquire or manufacture faith. It is there in you. You just need to allow it to come. So that's as far as environment for conscious living is concerned. The second is engagement to love consciously. Now, before I get to talking about engagement, I'm daring to talk about this most misunderstood, most misused and sometimes abused concept of love. To me, love is something very simple. Love happens when I dissolve. Love happens when myself, my mind-made concept of who I am dissolves. And the reverse is also true. In moments when I am not, love is. So therefore, it's very difficult to be there while love is also there and be able to come back and say, well, love was this and love was that. Because there wasn't anyone, there was only love. And if there was anyone, there wasn't love. In your true moments of having loved yourself, love the work that you are doing, love the journey that you were making, love the experience that you were going through, love the person that you've been with. If you recall those moments, one thing that will stand out was there wasn't any you. When you came back, you realized you were in a space of ecstasy. You were in a space of bliss. Choose an engagement that enables and allows you to love. Choose an engagement where yourself dissolves. I play music, and there are times when I play, my language is distorted, and therefore I have to say I play. But there are times when music is playing through me and I am not there. I can't describe those momentary experiences. They're blissful, they're ecstatic. And yet there is action, there is outcome. There is joy amongst those who are listening, there's joy in me, there's joy in the space. I worked in the corporate for 16 years. You must be thinking that I am talking out of my hat. How can one find engagements where one can engage with conscious love? For 16 years, I can hardly remember a day when I have not loved what I was doing. You will again say I was fortunate. I don't believe in fortune because I have no doubt about the fact that I am not unfortunate. All of us are fortunate. It's all about, if you are ready, the world is going to offer you on a platter opportunities to engage with love. My first job, where I was for 7 years, I still find it so difficult. One particular experience, if I can recall, which I did grudgingly. No, not at all. Then the second and the third. And mind you, 98, 99, when I was getting ready to move into another orbit, that was the time when I was finding my relationship with my work getting a little jaded. That was the time I was missing out on the joy and the bliss of love. And I stepped back, I paused. I asked myself, hey, what's happening? And the answer that I got was, you need to move out of this orbit. And I moved out, 99, from the corporate forever, to do again something which I love the most, which is what I am doing with you today. Being with people, holding hands, accompanying them in their struggle, being a co-traveler, journeying with them, holding a mirror once in a while, and most importantly, helping them to see that awesomeness which still lies embedded in them as a promise. So again, if you notice, when I talk about engagement to love consciously, there is a choice making happening over here, very different from the way you choose jobs. You choose jobs out of compulsion. I have chosen jobs out of discretion. I've been without jobs. There have been times when I have left a job and I haven't had a job, for the simple reason, at a gut level I have felt this is not the right place for me. So what I'm trying to bring to your awareness is, if you really are serious about being in that minority of transforming human beings, you need to perhaps change the paradigm of looking for being and being successful in jobs. Jobs are spaces for you to transformation happening in its own way. Jobs are spaces for you to be present to your own self, and in the process making productivity, delivery and performance happen. You don't perform, it happens when you are engaging with love. This is a subject in itself. If you wish, maybe one day we can delve on this separately. And I think the time is right now. After all, whatever happens in the system, whatever happens in the universe, happens for us to explore and look at things differently. When people are talking about a complete change in the employment climate and the employment sentiments, what is emerging is it's time that we make choices of what we really want to do to earn our living. And trust me, if you have the faith, which was the first E, if the environment is faithful and the inner environment is faithful, believe you me, you can trust my words. You will not only find that which you love, you will not only sustain yourself with that which you love, but you shall be the most joyful, most contented and most fulfilled being that you have ever known. Try it out. Once again, before I move from the sea, you need to first look at the flawed parameters of looking for a job: salary, designation, location. All of them are absolute BS. Absolute BS, and I'm talking from my own experience of life. The salary that you think you need to sustain yourself, it's something that you have made for yourself. And by the way, who told you that salary could be your only source of income? Try it out. Bring your imagination in. Your nature of engagement. Do you really need to be salaried? You can always be on contract. You don't feel safe. The paycheck thing, right? So, big deal. When has the seed sprouted? Even after wanting to feel safe. If it wanted to feel safe, it wouldn't have come out of its covering. For that matter, the most safe and secure place is the grave, where the dead live, not those who are alive. So what is this myth of wanting to be safe and secure? If you are meant to live, you shall live. If you are not meant to, you will not. Have the humility to accept that. Position, designation. What is your position to your own self? How do you designate yourself? What is your own value to yourself? To what extent do you recognize yourself? I remember when I was with Thermax, once my Vice President HR, Anuaga, she was visiting and I was in Kolkata. And I was in sales and marketing, and my designation was a territory coordinator. I was looking after the computer system division. I was running the business of this division in Eastern region for Thermax, and my designation was territory coordinator. So I went. I was not very happy with the designation because I felt that when I go and meet the CEOs of my prospective clients, I find it difficult to level up with them. So I went and spoke to Anuaga when she was visiting Kolkata, and I made a request. Anu, my designation is something which is not working for me. And that came her reply. What do you want to be called as? A vice president? And there was this admin person standing next to her and said, can you get him a set of business cards printed tomorrow where he is designated as a vice president? She was actually sending a message. She was not taking a decision. Your designation is your mind. That day I learned that I will stand tall only if in my mind I believe that I am tall enough. From then onwards, I have never ever cowered in front of any person with any designation. I've romped all over the marketplace. I've met people who are believed to be celebrities. I still remember the day I was in one-on-one terms with the CMD of my organization, Dr. P.P. Gupta. I remember the day, good morning Pratima, I remember the day I met Sam Petroda. And I met them with a lot of respect, that's true, but I never felt that he was higher than me or I was junior to him. Because to me, I believe that I'm as valuable as he or she is. So these are some of the prerequisites for you to engage consciously with love. The last E, which is enablement, and I'm going to have a separate session on enablement because that's a huge theme. It's an ocean by itself. The first thing that we need to understand is human transformation cannot happen alone. Taking the analogy from the gardener's analogy, as I call it, you've planted a seed, it has sprouted into a plant, it has begun growing. Don't you think now you need to protect it from animals who can come and eat it up, and worse still, from the weeds that will grow around the plant and swamp it up, and very soon there won't be any sprout, there will be only weeds. Also, because we are talking about human transformation, and in human transformation the difference is that we can make choices, that we can be conscious, that we can be aware. Don't you think we need someone to remind us in our moments of forgetfulness that we can make choice, that we can be conscious, that we can be aware? Pratima Sinha, want to meet you very soon with my few questions. Please, Pratima, if questions bring you close to me, so be it. But please meet. It's been a very long time. So you need someone to walk along with you, to accompany you in this transformational journey. Now this is where comes the egoic hassle. Why do I need someone? I am good enough. I have read so many books. I am so much more knowledgeable. I have friends who are knowledgeable. The question to you, you have many keys. They jingle, they make noise, but none of them open the door of consciousness and leave it open for you to walk through. So that's why you need an enabler. So who is this enabler? Is he a teacher? Is he a trainer? Is he some kind of an expert? Someone who doles out gyan? Is he a pandit? No. Remember your childhood. Remember yourself as a toddler, when you were beginning to learn how to walk. Remember yourself as a babbler when you were beginning to talk. Dada, when are you coming to Varanasi? Whenever you enable me to come to Varanasi, Rudresh. And whenever you make sure that the mercury is in tolerable levels. Not now, of course. I know it's bad. Bangalore has spoilt me, so I fall sick when I am in hot places, very, very hot places. But I will love to be with you and Pratima, Rudresh. So, is this guy an enabler? No, this guy is not an enabler. If you remember your childhood, when you were just beginning to grow, what did the elders do? They did not give you a prescription on how to walk and how to talk. And by the way, in Montessori's they don't do that even today. What they did was perhaps held out a hand for you to take the first step. They allowed you to fall, making sure that you don't hurt yourself badly. They encouraged you. They walked in front of you so that you could look, watch, and make them your role models. In fact, as a child, you picked up all the words that they spoke. The dawning of consciousness happened because of those elders who were there in front of you when you were a babbler and a toddler, when you were beginning to grow. Now they were in the roles of enablers up until they chose to be parents or any other designated relationship in your life, and they lost their enablerhood. The most universal example of an enabler is the sun, that which enables life on this planet. It's a radiative relationship. If you notice, 93 million miles away, and yet it is so essential for our life and livelihood. We cannot live without the sun. It doesn't have a one-on-one relationship with us, and yet we worship the sun. It is at the center. If you imagine the spatial relationship with sun, it is at the center of our being. And there are only radial connections between the sun and us. Most importantly, it is the presence of the sun that enables. You think the sun does something? No. In fact, the sun never sets, the sun never rises also. It's our perception. The sun is there. It's the awesome presence of the sun with its essential power, which it radiates down to every living being on the planet, that makes the sun an enabler. To find a human enabler, therefore, You need to look for that which is like the sun. Comes with the power of presence, nurturing without even wanting to be close, nurturing without being discriminative, and most importantly, committed to be there, notwithstanding whether you are there or not. One of the key things about an enabler is the commitment. And the commitment is to the outcome. In this case, the commitment is to life. The sun is committed to make life happen. When you're looking for an enabler, look for what is the level of commitment, what is the drive. Is he driven by the need for relevance, the need to be rich, the need to be respected? No. He's not driven by any needs. He is driven by his commitment to that one particular reason because of which he or she exists. The enabler is enabling by purpose. His very reason for existence is to enable. All this I am saying is because it's very humbling to acknowledge. In 2007, when I started my journey with this program called I Enable, to enable others, that's the first time that the awareness dawned on me. I'm not a trainer because I've not been trained to be a trainer. I'm neither a facilitator who facilitates only the process of learning. My DNA is that of an enabler. So I don't have a choice but to be an enabler. Another thing that I must share with you, because you would be now going out, looking out for enablers. The biggest challenge to find true enablers are the best enablers are invisible or least visible. They don't make noise. They are there, and just like a blossoming flower, it is their fragrance that carries to you. They don't beat their trumpet. They just talk about their experiences, their struggle, their being frail and vulnerable like you, their being human. And in the process, the enablement happens. So my friends, that's the framework of 3E and 3L. I will repeat: environment to live consciously, engagement to love consciously, and enablement to learn consciously. If you have any questions, please post it as comments to this video, which will be uploaded on Facebook very soon, and I shall be glad to answer them as comments, or maybe if it is a question which demands deliberation, we will have a live show on that question itself. Thank you so much for sparing your time and being with me. Yes, Rudesh, most of my videos are available on YouTube. Look for Human Alchemist. My channel is called Human Alchemist. and I will put up my channel link on my Facebook page. You can go there and you can browse through my videos. Incidentally, there was another video that I had recorded some time back, which was not a live show, which has something to do with human transformation. I'll share the link in the comment box when this video is posted, so you can visit that also in connection with the talk that happened today. It will give you further insights on human transformation. So with that, have a fantastic Sunday. Have a very joyful, sunny, bright and healthy Sunday, and a fantastic week ahead. Thank you once again, and see you again Sunday at 9 in the morning. If 9 is a problem with you, just let me know on the comment box what would be a suitable time, because it became a little problem with me today as I came back very late last night from a very long outstation trip. Thank you, Rudresh, for being here too. And I kind of overslept, so I was late by about 20-25 minutes. So let me know, whatever is convenient to you is convenient to me. Thank you so much. God bless. Stay blessed and keep loving. Bye bye.